So welcome back to the show. So we're going to talk about Social Security. I had a person ask me a question in the comments, and so that's what we're going to focus on. But we're also going to talk a little bit about what to expect when it comes to this infrastructure bill. We're now in day 2. So Monday, they said everything was going to be set up and they would have the text and they would start voting on this cloture vote. Well, we didn't see any of that on Monday. So now we're going to talk a little bit about what to expect in the next few days. But first off, you guys can do me a favor, please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And just to remind you guys, in the comment section, if you see my name and you see a picture of me, make sure there's also a check mark next to my name. That signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it is not me. It is someone that is impersonating me. Okay, so let's talk about the infrastructure bill and where we are right now. So when we're looking at the infrastructure bill, this is the first infrastructure bill. This is a roads, bridges, broadband. That's what we're talking about right now. Now, we have a bipartisan group. They have indicated that they have an agreement with the White House, and they're just working out the fine details. And so they'll be drafting this bill, but we have not seen any text on this bill yet. So we're still waiting to see the text, and then they're going to have a cloture vote. So once we see the text, I would hope in the next couple of days after that, then they'll have this cloture vote, which will open up debate. And that's when they can amend parts of the bill. So that's what we're waiting for right now when it comes to the first infrastructure bill. Once that is approved by the Senate, it will go over to the House, and it will probably sit in the House while they work on the second infrastructure bill, the American Families Plan. And that's where we'll have more human infrastructure. So when we're talking about Social Security, when we're talking about pre-K education, when we're talking about free community college for 2 years, that's where that is going to come into play. So that's where we are right now with the infrastructure bills. We're still kind of waiting, but we'll have to see. They're trying to get this done before they go on recess in August. And the majority leader in the Senate has already indicated that they will be holding them over until they get this done. So they might have to forego their recess, or at least part of their recess, if they can't get this done in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so now let's go to the question, and here is the question from Cindy. So Cindy says, what's going to happen to Social Security? Okay, so that's a very, very good question. Now, there are a few different things that we're looking at when it comes to Social Security. Some of the things I think will be addressed in the American Families Plan, but we don't have all the details yet. So when we're looking at the American Families Plan, we know that Senator Bernie Sanders, he wants to improve benefits for Social Security. So he's looking at hearing, vision, and dental, improving that. He's also looking at reducing the age requirement for Medicare, or at least dropping it down to 60 instead of the current age now. And so those are the two major things that we're looking at when it comes to Social Security that we already have heard politicians talk about for the American Families Plan. Now, there are other issues that need to be addressed, right? We're talking about the trust fund. We know that will expire in 2032 or 2035, depending on who you talk to. So we know that will be expiring. Now, that doesn't mean that Social Security will be out of funds and no one will be able to receive money anymore. That just means that the trust fund will be out of money. So that means that Social Security, what you're receiving now, you'll probably get about 79 to 80% of what you're getting right now. So that's what we're looking at. That needs to be addressed. They're going to have to find out a way to keep the trust fund going. So they're going to have to fund it. So they're going to have to pull money from different places. So that's one of the things that we have to look at. The raise for Social Security, that $200 raise that's been talked about. You've had politicians, you've even had the president talk about the raise for Social Security. Now, this is a long time ago. Okay, this is last year, Senator Warren brought this up as far as the $200 raise for Social Security. She received some support from other senators like Chuck Schumer and Senator Bernie Sanders, but we haven't heard much since then. We've heard President Biden mention it during his campaign, but we haven't heard anything in the last few months. So this is going to be something that we'll have to see if they even address that in the American Families Plan. Now, President Biden has also talked about a raise for SSI and SSDI. So that's something else. And he just talked about this probably about 3 to 4 months ago. So that is probably the latest that we've heard when it comes to anything when it comes to Social Security or raises for Social Security. Now, the important thing that we need to focus on is, are they going to be able to do all this in the American Families Plan? And I don't think that they will be. I think that we're going to be looking at, they'll be able to do some for Social Security in the American Families Plan, and then they're going to have to create another bill somewhere down the road where they focus on some of these other things like the solvency, so the trust fund issue, as well as maybe the raise. They'll have a separate bill for that. It's very hard for politicians to vote against anything for Social Security. It really is. Although you might think, well, they're not really doing anything, they're not moving forward with this and that. Well, if it's a standalone bill for Social Security and it's a raise, or it's a standalone bill to fix the trust fund problem, I think that it will probably get bipartisan support. I think they can work it that way. It just depends on where the money's coming from, right? We know the pay fors, that's always a big issue. That's what we're dealing with right now when it comes to the infrastructure bill. But when it comes to Social Security, especially during an election year, so let's say, unfortunately, if we have to wait until next year to address the whole Social Security issue, then it will be very hard for politicians to vote against Social Security benefits. So we're just going to have to see where that goes. But that's what we're looking at when it comes to Social Security right now. I think in the American Families Plan, they've already mentioned that there are those few things that I talked about: dental, vision, and hearing, as well as reducing the age for Medicare to 60. Those things are already on the table right now. So we'll probably see that in the American Families Plan. But these other things, I think we're going to probably look at a separate bill for those. So let me know if you guys have any questions down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.